Every time you use AI for your content, you're making yourself more invisible rather than less. And I know this because I use AI every single day and have done for the best part of the last 3.5 years. And I nearly buried myself with all of the things that I was trying to get it to do. And none of it's led to me getting long-term results from what I was doing. So I've changed how I use AI, and today I'm going to explain that to you. Now, I don't want you to think this is another video where I'm going to be bashing AI. Of course, AI is responsible for a lot of the terrible content we see all over the internet, and it's also responsible for a lot of people feeling like they're doing the right things in their business that should be progressing and should be bringing them clients, but they're finding they're not getting any results. What I can share with you today is going to give you a bit of that insight as to what I use it for today and where I absolutely do not use it because it's turning me to sound like everybody else in my industry. Now, the thing is that AI slop isn't the disease, it's a symptom, and it's about how you're using AI to create your content that's causing that problem. And there are some ways you can use it that will save you a hell of a lot of time, make you more efficient, and get you to where you want to go. In fact, I even use AI for helping me to make this video, but not in the way where I'm scripting every single word, and I'm going to dig into that too. Now, if you go and scroll your LinkedIn feed or your Instagram, you're going to see a lot of posts that have the exact same patterns, they've got the same hooks, they're talking about stuff that's very, very surface level or very general, and you could go yourself into ChatGPT and say you're an expert in any different industry and get a post that is similar to what a lot of people are putting out there. And that's not even to get me started on comments and the comments you see all over everyone's posts. Somehow it's become a strategy that, yes, you need to be visible on these platforms. So the best thing you can do is go and find people and comment all over their stuff using obvious AI things. And for me, it's a total turnoff. And I think it's becoming that for a lot of other people. I'm also very tired of those that post about AI all the time and how it's ruining this. And you even see people that are talking about not using AI to post their content, but they're still blatantly using it and not in a very good way. And this is going to become an opportunity for those of us that can figure out how to use it for the right things, but where we still need to be in the driving seat to be able to get the results that we need. So when it comes to something like your offer, if you don't have a deep understanding of the feeling that people are experiencing that you solve when you're creating your offer, and you haven't sat and thought about that, no amount of AI is going to be able to help you create an offer that converts people. AI is just a machine that's built on learning patterns from all the other stuff that's out there. It doesn't understand your market in the way that you do, and it can only really pull on very general things. So if you're using it to create an offer, but you haven't sat down and thought about it before, you're basically going to end up with something that looks polished and looks right, but isn't going to convert anybody because you've not got yourself into the mind of that person. And the same comes with content. Like, I've had a lot of people ask me, how do I come up with ideas for content all of the time? Well, I sit and I think and I reflect about what's happening in my world, what's going on in the market. And then I'll go in with my voice and I'll have a conversation with the AI where I'm sharing my thoughts, and I'm sharing it at length so that the AI can get a real understanding of my thought, my belief process, like why I think it's important and how it connects to actually helping and supporting my audience on their journey, because that's what I'm here for at the end of the day. Now, I still use the AI to craft the post. I still use it to follow the frameworks that I've got and all of these other things that I've built in. But I never ever go in there and just say, write me a post about this. And I think if you're using it for that, then you're doing yourself more harm than good. If you can't keep up with a daily beat of content, then just produce less content, but make sure it's coming from these core thoughts and ideas that you've sat and thought about and got into and tested and spoken to your customers about. You've got the data there already, and AI is really, really good at helping you take that and turn it into something. But if you're asking it to do the thinking bit at the beginning, it's really not going to help you. And the thing about it that's so sad is you're not boring, but your presence is if you're using it that way. I know a lot of us lack confidence and think that we live lives that are very dull and mundane or whatever, but it's simply not true. If you're somebody who's had the gumption to go and start your own business and start trying to put yourself out there online, there's plenty of things about you that people will find interesting, and there are many things about you that are unique. And on the other side of it, they're unique, but they're also shared. People will see themselves in your story, and you're always best placed to serve the people who are a little bit behind you or a few steps behind you on the track. So by sharing those day-to-day things that you're going through or that you've been through in the past, you're going to help a lot more people than you realize. And you're going to do it just by telling your story and being yourself. Now, AI can't do this unless you give it the context and the information and you keep it current. And one of the things I see a lot now with AI tools and people selling programs is that you can create 3 months of content in 5 minutes. I'm telling you now, if you create 3 months of content in 5 minutes, it's going to be total garbage. And in 3 months, if you've not grown so far that you look back at your content from that period of time and think that it's absolutely terrible compared to what you think now, then you're not growing and moving fast enough and you're not current. And this is how we end up in this world where it's like the dead internet, because everything out there is AI, copying AI, learning from AI, and people aren't adding any of their spin. And it's a tragedy because we all have this ability, and AI is a tool that can help us write it. Even if we're not a copywriter, you don't need to be an expert writer to be able to do this stuff anymore. But you do need to be able to have original thought and articulate that original thought with the machine so that it can help you. And I can't repeat enough that this is never a personality problem. You have the personality already. It's the fact that you're just using it in the wrong way. And what that's going to do is it's going to erode trust with the people that you're trying to impress, because they're probably also using AI every day and they see the patterns and they just don't see any part of you in what you're doing. And that, unfortunately, is what you're going to lose out on, because your only moat in a world where knowledge is free, and I can go to ChatGPT or Claude or Grok or whatever I want to use 24 hours a day, and it's going to give me good advice based on my position, right? Based on who I am, it knows all of my stuff. It's going to give me better advice than the generic advice that you can pull out about your industry. But what it's not going to do is it's not going to give me specifics from someone who understands where I'm at right now. It's what I always said, right? Say if you're a lawyer, for example, and you don't use AI, you can probably get beaten by someone who isn't a lawyer but uses AI. You certainly can't be defeated by somebody who's a lawyer and using AI. And that's the real difference of when you're using it to its strengths or using it to your detriment. And basically, you just become someone who's posting crap to tick a box. And it's the same with comments, the same with offers. It's even becoming the same with websites. So how does that trust actually get built? Well, there's two ways. There's connection, which is them feeling like they know you, feeling like they understand your viewpoint and your world. And then there's proof, which is you sharing the things you're building, the journey you're on, all of the stuff you're doing with AI or otherwise, the wins you get for your clients. And these two things are essential together. The connection gets people to feel like they know you and want to work with you. And then the proof shows them that you're doing the things that they need to deal with. And when I say proof, it doesn't need to be like, oh, I made 20K for this client last month. Everybody's got these stories, right? It's the proof that you're doing the things every day that they need to learn how to do and how to implement. And therefore, you're in a position to show them how to do it. And that's why building in public is such a good strategy, because you're doing the things you said you were going to do. So many people will say they're going to do something, they'll keep it inside, and they'll never actually do it. They won't share the journey. And they lose all of this content that's everywhere in front of them that might seem overwhelming if you're not feeding it into an AI tool. Now, I'm not preaching here from a distance. If I tell you about some of the things that I'm quite ashamed of that I've done with AI in the past, you'll laugh at me. I used to use it for my images because I thought I couldn't take a good photo of myself. So for ages, my profile picture and the images I was sharing on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram were all AI images. How can somebody trust me and get to know me and want to talk to me on a call and get to be part of my world if they're looking at AI images of me all day long? It's the same with thumbnails. I used to make thumbnails for YouTube that are all like crazy CTR heavy, me doing funny faces and all of this crap. So because I thought it was a better way to get people to come through. I used to get AI to go and look at all the different topics people were talking about in my industry from my competitors. And then I'd pull that all back together and start trying to dig out the insights in there that I thought if I shared would make me sound like the expert and people would want to buy me. Right? I've done all of these things. I've used AI to automatically comment on people's posts before. I did that for a very long time, and today I don't even bother commenting on people's posts. Like, it's a total waste of time. There's this whole lie that LinkedIn is a place where they only like it if you aren't posting and ghosting and you're staying on the platform. I've stopped doing it, and I only very occasionally, if I see something I'm interested in and I've got time, leave a comment. I just don't work with that. So a lot of these things I've already done, and all of these like quick win AI things that you can do, they just don't work. even AI for video. If you look back on my channel, I maybe even removed it, but I told people it was an AI video, and I made an avatar of myself talking about my business and the things I do, and I was basically just sat like this, looking all uncanny valley, like some kind of weird, freaky mannequin. And that's just never going to work. You're saving time in the wrong places. So what can you use AI for? Well, it's very, very good at some of the back-end tasks. For example, I always make all of my funnels and my stuff for like people opting in and lead magnets and mini apps and all these things. I use AI for all of that because I can make things that would have cost me 10, 20K to ask a developer to do before. I can make them look really, really nice. I can change them whenever I want. I can build them up whenever I want. And I use them for that. And I also use it to remind me for stuff and keep me up to date with the things that I'm supposed to be doing, and for analysis of like what's working and what's not working. But that's another trap we can get into another day, where you analyze everything too much and really you'd be better off just delivering stuff. So there are some places I use it, and I do still use it for my email writing once I've given it my long idea in my own voice, but it's a light touch. It's just making sure that the emails are not just me ranting about something that's of no value to anybody else. And I use it on a daily basis for my thumbnails now, where I'm just putting text over the top rather than giving it some fake version of me. So there are many, many things you can use it for. So the point of all of this is you can use it, but you should use it for the things that don't require your personality to be good. And that's the ideas, the thinking behind stuff, your actual story, the stuff you're doing on a day-to-day basis. All of these things need to come from you. And then AI can do a very good job at producing all the rest of the stuff. But there's a human in the loop at both ends. Never be pushing stuff without reading it. Like the dream of having an agent that posts all your content for you all day, every day, certainly not here yet. I hope it never is. But there are things that you can use it for that I do quite successfully today. Embarrassingly, I even used to make YouTube videos because I was convinced I couldn't speak them myself like I do now. And yeah, they may well have some stumbles and some things in them that I might not like as much, but I'm not there sat reading a teleprompter trying to look natural. Oh, please, I hope nobody notices that I'm reading these words that AI created for me off a screen. Like, I don't do that anymore because there's no need to, right? And maybe you disagree, you can tell me in the comments, you know, go back and use a teleprompter, you bold idiot. But you get where I'm coming from. So just remember that simple rule. AI is not for the thinking. You do the thinking first, you do it yourself, and then AI does the organization, the creation, the pulling things together, and then you look at things at the end to make sure they're really you. Now this is serious because in the next 12 months, people are going to end up pushed into two camps. There's going to be the creators, the experts that go and use AI for everything, all of their thinking, all of their content, and they're going to become so bland and boring that nobody is going to want to be interested in their stuff. There'll be a backlash against it where all of those people are suddenly shunned and ignored. And they might still look good because they'll have engagement pods commenting on their stuff and people sharing their stuff, lots of fake bots doing things on their profiles that makes them look good, while they probably still make money with ads. And I'm looking at some of the gurus here. And then there'll be the camp that actually spent the time to be themselves, to use their original thought, to understand what it is that their market want based on what they can offer. And they went out there and they were real, and they just told it how they thought it was. And those people are going to be the winners in the longer term. And if you're not in that camp and you're just starting out and you're in the other camp, really do reconsider it. Like, you're better off posting less stuff and making sure it's really you and really something you believe that helps your audience than you are posting all kinds of AI shit that's all over the internet for everyone else.